What's shaking, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more J-drama score. And we're going to go back for another two, not from Mozu, which I am going to continue to watch on my YouTube, on my Patreon, but to another show's score, which surely I will watch on my Patreon at some point. But that is Angels and Demons, or Tenshi to Akuma. I've talked about this before. I think I've done like 6 reactions to the soundtrack. They were all many months ago. Indeed, the whole J-drama playlist fell off for a little bit, but we are back alive with it now. And even though I came back with Mozu because I was watching this, there's still multiple tunes left on this soundtrack left to go through. So yeah, this show's from 2015, just to give a brief synopsis because I have talked about it in the previous videos. It's a cold case detective show, and the cases they end up uncovering, they being both Goriki Ayame and Watabe Atsuro, both great actors that I've seen in different shows. But yeah, the cases they unwind after years of being cold with no leads, they're morally and ethically and legally complicated, meaning it's not so simple as finding out someone who did a really bad crime, or even when there is like an obvious antagonist who committed some horrible crime years past. The story often makes the situation more complicated than that, meaning by the end it's like, who should you offer a plea deal to? And that's the whole point. It's a cold case show built around plea deals, offering a plea bargain to someone, which, part of the essence of the show is that, in the US and some other places, that type of, let's say, prosecution or law enforcement, what's the right word, policy is well practiced. In Japan it wasn't done for a long time, and so they've implemented it in recent decades, and I think it's still seen as controversial because people shouldn't talk about things that have happened in the past and so on. But they end up unraveling these cases, and in some situations in the different episodes, what they unravel makes it problematic for people who are essentially innocent, meaning like there's damage done by some of the investigations, but it's still figuring out who committed a horrible crime. So it's really good, and there's a couple episodes in particular where it's like really emotional. One especially that is one of my favorite J-drama episodes, at least regarding like serious dramatic shows. Obviously I watch shows of different styles: comedy, drama, romance, and so on. But yeah, so that's what the show's all about. We're gonna listen to a tune called "And Dead," and it often plays. Again, this is a cold case, specifically cold case, like murder cold case investigation show. So "And Dead," it speaks to the way that when they start asking questions and interviewing people who've had these crimes, or have known about awful crimes in their family's history or whatever it is for 7, 8, 10 years. They're kicking up old situations, and they're getting leads that aren't always clear, and maybe perhaps implicate people who didn't seem to be a suspect at first. So the murky and perhaps sordid nature of the revelations as they work through the cases, I think, is well represented in this piece. Shout out to Hayashi Yuki, the composer of the score. I have said the story before, so I'll be quick, but yeah, he was a gymnast in college, but he was also good at music, so he started composing the routine music for himself and his fellow gymnastic teammates for their university team. And at meets, other people and other coaches and gymnasts were like, man, that's really good music. And so it came like, oh, he's the one who made it. And so other universities started asking him to make music for them, and ultimately that led to him doing like commercial music, which led to him doing TV music, and eventually it was like, well, clearly my future is in music, not in gymnastics. So that's all the background. Let's listen to it. This is "And Dead" by Hayashi Yuki from the Tenshi to Akuma, or Angels and Demons soundtrack, 2015. obviously it's moody, it's, you know, a bit uncertain, it's heavy, it feels like there's moments of perhaps more consonant sounds and then more heavy, brooding sounds. But yeah, it sounds like worries, it sounds like a bit of opacity, meaning you can't quite see what you're looking at, but you know it's heavy and you know it's perhaps problematic. So it fits, again, asking people questions, bringing up uncomfortable things in history, some people not wanting to talk, perhaps at least one of them because, you know, they're hiding a great secret about an awful thing they've done. It just speaks to the way the show plays out. Admittedly, like, listening to the soundtrack, not just here, but to all the J-drama, and I guess all the soundtrack stuff I've done, because I've done soundtrack reactions, not just to J-drama. Indeed, there's two separate playlists. There's like soundtracks, like more generally, and there's J-drama stuff. So anyway, it's hard not to imagine scenes where you can at least recall parts of the tune playing, which is, you know, I've mentioned it before, when you get a soundtrack album, it's like the full version, including of score tune or score pieces, so that, you know, in the film you might hear 30 seconds of it, but the actual tune is like 121 or whatever it is. So then, you know, when you listen on the soundtrack, it's like, wow, it's like a full work of art. It's even better than the moment you hear part of it in the film. So again, shout out to Hayashi Yuki, just a really cool composer, which, you know, if you are at all interested in other parts of the soundtrack, which I don't think a lot of J-drama soundtracks, you can find some of them on YouTube, including, like, you know, proper playlists for the full soundtrack. A lot of other shows not, or at least it'll be like one or two of the tracks and not the rest of the soundtrack. But the two, like, title tunes, which are different versions of the same phrase, Angels and Demons, Tenshi to Akuma, which are different versions of the same tune. One fast and energetic, one slow, heavy, and emotional. They're just masterpieces. They're, like, so good. Among the best of all the, like, J-drama score I've gone through. So I'm going to come back with one more reaction to this soundtrack in this session, because, again, I've been lacking on the J-drama playlist for a while. I know it's not like a more significantly followed playlist, but, you know, some of these playlists are sort of, you know, my pet projects, for lack of a better term or phrase. And this is certainly one of them, because I've seen some great shows, and part of why I love those shows is because in certain moments the music, it's just like, oh my god, are you hearing this? I gotta back it up just to hear the music again. So it's cool to go through them and to be able to get some of these CDs. CD Japan, it's a company that they have, like, DVD sets of shows, though I wouldn't recommend buying them there because they're way expensive and a lot of them don't have English subtitles. eBay is a much greater place if you want to find J-drama box sets with English subtitles. But CD Japan, you can find soundtrack CDs for a lot of shows. Some of them are sold out, some of them, you know, the shows have been so long that you can't find them, but some of them you can. So in any case, I'll stop talking. Do let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.